Hello, my name is Steve, the amazing, technically world famous performer of impossible things. I'm here to give a review of Peter Turner's Volume 1 PDF of Psychological Card Forces. In Psychological Card Forces, he details how to Psyforce every single card in the deck. Every single card in the deck. He gives a way to perform it, a way to psychologically force it. Now, I don't think this will be a very long review because there's not a lot to talk about as far as what's in it. What is in the book is he tells you how to psychologically force every single playing card. The best thing I could say about this is I have the PDF, and my cheapskate self went and printed the whole thing out. I have not done this for another PDF ever in my life. I wanted to be able to reference it whenever possible, so I have literally printed the entire thing out and used up my paper, my ink, my money, hard-earned cash that I have very little of. And I went and did that. So, very seriously though, this is something I think is necessary for probably any working performer. Do we need to be able to psychologically force every single card? No. You've got the ability to force any card you want in the deck. Find the ones that work best for you and use those. Find ways to have outs for when this doesn't work. This isn't going to always work, but it's very, very good. And again, you have so many options from this PDF. So you'll be able to find your favorite ones. You'll start to get better at them, and it'll work more often. But all you have to do, it's so much worth it to spend a little bit of time figuring out any outs for if this doesn't work. And I mean, again, I printed the thing out. That's how much I like this. Couple of quick things to note. This is probably the best thing Peter Turner's ever written as far as the actual writing goes. He has gone leaps and bounds from some of his first works. If you've had any sort of problems with how they're written, this is written very, very nicely. He's obviously spent time working on how he presents his material. But not just that, this builds in such a fun way. It was such a great read. He starts off with the easier forces and builds up to the more, I guess, difficult ones. He also gives you he gives you some outs, gives you some ways to get around it. And it's not like you have to do a side force for every single routine you ever do. It's something that helps add to your character, add to your abilities, and makes it, it builds up all your other performances, basically. Now, the nice thing is, anytime he can in this book, he gives you an example that's not based in the card world. So you're not just getting a bunch of card forces, you're getting some presentational points and some presentational moments that of Peter Turner's working repertoire. And he's giving you them. He's presenting those moments in ways that are not related to card effects, so you're getting more out of the book, basically. Essentially, he'll teach you a method. That's what I'm trying to get to. He'll teach you a method to help you with the cards, but he'll teach it in a way that he uses it without cards. So you're learning two things at once. You're learning how to use it with cards and how to use it without cards. This book has had my mind racing since I've read it. I printed it out, like I said. I reference it a lot. And it's something that's crept into just about every routine I do since then. Of course, the obvious cons is that it's not going to be 100%. It's something that you should already have known going into this. It's not going to be 100%, but he does teach you some very good ways to where really, if you push it far enough, you can get very close on what you want. He also teaches you how to just not worry about it if it doesn't work. I would say that you could look into other things like, since this is with cards, I would look into Kent Knepper's Colossal Killer. That's my universal card out. Also looking into really just any of Kenton's card work will teach you ways to get out of this. Mind reading will show you kind of some ideas. The Kent Knepper book, Mind Reading. A lot of stuff in the book, very well written, builds beautifully, absolutely beautifully. It's my favorite of these monthly PDFs that I've read so far. I've only gotten into about 5. It still has stuck around as my favorite one out of the bunch. And it was one of those things I just felt that I needed to give a review for it, just to let everybody else know how excited I am about it. I do believe that these are $30, and I do believe that contacting Peter Turner directly is the best way to get these, but there are a few other websites out there that also sell it. I've seen it on, I believe I've seen it on Penguin Magic, but I think they have it as kind of a bulk thing. And Pablo Amira's Mentalism Center is another place that I've seen the books sold separately. I just wanted to point out how much I enjoyed this one and how much I've used it throughout since reading it, and just the fact that I printed it out myself so I can reference it. Again, it's not just card forces. You get a force for every single card in the deck, as well as getting a few other presentational pieces to use in other routines, but then also that can work for your card effects. I've seen a lot of Pete's psychological forces. I've been subject to a bunch of them, and he does a very good job at getting this stuff to work. And this is he did a fantastic job of getting those thoughts from his head onto paper, and I think it's something you should definitely check out. I really don't think I could recommend it enough if you are in the if you are of the card and mentalism kind of bent. But even if you just have cards occasionally in the stuff that you do, this is a way to get very hands off with your card work, and it could help streamline a lot of your routines. So with that, thank you guys for listening, and feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel or find me on Facebook, facebook.com/SteveTheAmazing. Leave me a comment, write me a message, whatever you'd like to suggest some other things for me. I'm always open for suggestions of what you want to review from. I do have a pretty vast back catalog of effects that I've purchased in the past. So thanks again, and see you next time.